Hello. Many of you may be wondering why I dislike anti-video game activists, such as Jack Thompson. Well, I have one reason, and one reason only. Their logic doesn't work. Let me give you an example. Jack Thompson claims that video game causes violence, and many people would not have died had it not been for kids playing Super Mario Brothers. Well, it's not Super Mario Brothers, it's just video games in general. But then, of course, there's the whole Grand Theft Auto and Mortal Kombat are causing people to copy them and kill people. So, for his logic to work, there would have to be over 1 million violent crimes linked to games. Well, let me explain how that works. There are 59 million youths, according to MediaFamily.com, that use video games. So, these 59 million people, or 20 out of every 1,000 of them, will commit a violent crime, according to the FBI crime statistics. That's 1 out of every 50. So, in 60 million people, 1 out of every 50 will commit a violent crime. That's roughly 1.2 million violent criminal gamers. So, statistically speaking, there would have to be more than 1.2 million violent crimes linked to games across the United States for his logic to work. And I have got to tell you, there is not a significant number. Jack Thompson, exaggerating the truth, has said about 50. 1 million to 50. Interesting. And he's saying how Grand Theft Auto and Mortal Kombat is causing people to copycat it. And I've got to tell you that I do not believe that is true at all. I mean, I've been playing Mortal Kombat for many years, and I have hardly killed anybody. Yeah. And then Dr. David Walsh of Media Family, he's a pretty good guy. He's trying to give an air of fairness. He's giving the video game industry their own side of the story and ridiculing it semi-intelligently rather than just collectively calling gamers vigilantes and drug addicts. So, it seems like, well, he's an alright guy. But his whole Media Family thing, it was a great thing 10 years ago. When it was first started, they had several excellent points. The SRB rating system, when it had come out, was rating on a curve a little bit. But now, it's not. You see, it is by far stricter than the rating systems in most other countries. And the film industry. And many of you may not be believing that, so let me give you an example. A T-rated game in the United States, Super Smash Bros. Melee, was rated 3+ in the United Kingdom. And the movie, let me give you an example in the movie industry. Well, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas had been rated M. Okay, that's the equivalent of an R rating in an adult movie. Or an R rating, meaning no kids under 17 allowed without a parent. So, that's how it stands. M equals R, in theory. Now, here's what happened. Someone uncovered that through the use of a third-party modification, much like bumper stickers a person would put on their car, you can unlock a minigame which has enough sexual content to, how should I put this, to fill a Hollywood movie. So, they increased the rating from M to adults only because of the sexual content. Not because of the shooting in the face, or the running over people, or the sneaking up behind people and stabbing them in the back, because of the hot coffee modification. And that is a little weird. But just one last thing, in Media Family's defense, they are a good bunch, but and they were incredibly useful years and years ago. Now they're a little iffy. So, it's like that scene in Freddy vs. Jason, where Freddy needs to get Jason to kill for him, but then Jason just won't stop killing. So it ends up Freddy uses uses this guy on drugs. He makes him fall asleep, and then basically he goes through him and overshadows him, and uses him to inject tranquilizers into Jason's neck. And then Jason falls asleep, and Freddy tries to kill Jason, but he fails because Jason wakes up. And then Freddy ends up being pulled into the real world, and it ends up, of course, Jason triumphs over Freddy. But then in the sequel, what's going to happen is they're going to make it look like Freddy was the real victor because Freddy's alive, so he's going to naturally be really mad. And of course, then there's going to be a third sequel, where of course, since there's no complexity in the American cinema, they will have a third person come in and kill people because good has to triumph over evil. Well, that's it. That's why I dislike the anti-video game activists. Now, I'm not going to go and say they're stupid like other people, but I'm going to say the other people seriously have a point.